Does my face really look this creepy? Like, okay, if I'm just around a blind corner, so come up the stairs right now, am I that creepy? Like, do I look like...
Pretty terrifying.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll show you in the screenshot.
I think I can be kind of charming in the right light, though. Just because I have a 5-hour energy in my mouth doesn't mean that I can't be a nice person, right?
It's only because like it stretches your teeth out so they look huge. And, like it looks like a tongue almost. It's like when it's in the bad light, it looks like you're some kind of demon.
Okay. There's no reason for this guy to crawl in like that, but he's still what? See, okay, let's say that I slowly walk around the corner like I'm just jovially strolling around the block, and am I creepy? I still find myself quite charming. I'll just stop throwing frags because I've killed way too many hostages at this point. That's just silly.
Hello guys, my name is TheRussianBadger, and the salt, man, the salt. They're never gonna be able to get it out of that room. It's beyond repair. And this is what happened. Okay, so I was returning a girl's wallet at a dorm, and on my way out, guess what I hear? There is one sound that, sure, there are a lot of fighting games that have that sound effect of fight, but there's not anyone that is as distinct as Street Fighter 4. So I'm walking by, and there's 3 guys in a room with an open door, and I'm just like, you know what? That's not any fighting game. That is Super Street Fighter 4. So finals are pretty well over for most people at this point. So I decided to stroll on in and see if they would let me play. Of course they do. I mean, the university that I go to, everybody's really chill and everybody's very relaxed in general in terms of an overarching feeling in terms of what people are generally like. It's a very relaxed campus. So I give these little guys like I actually play fighting games. Or I haven't played them for a while because my 2 best friends used to be really, really into them, and I just hadn't played them for a while. But I was like, yeah, I usually play Marvel vs. Capcom, but I haven't really played lately. And in reality, I have not played fighting games in forever. Like forever. I have not played them in forever. So, of course, instead of picking somebody rather simple, I guess you could debate with me who's simple and who's not. You could probably pick, I don't know, Blanca or Ryu. I know everybody calls him Ryu, or whatever, alright? Whatever his name is. But by the time that I left and I played 3 different games, there was salt all over the walls, there was salt on the ceiling, there was salt on the Mountain Dew cans, there was salt on the salt and vinegar potato chips. They're going to have to burn that room down. They're never going to get the salt out of there. That room is beyond repair, alright? And this is exactly what happened, okay? So I picked Dudley, and the first time I not only double perfect the guy, but I end up winning the subsequent 2 games after that, which just, all it is just cross counters and chain grabs all day. And I remember I mentioned this, I got a Glock for you, ninja, and I end up shooting Jamal in the face. I'll explain the whole class setup after I'm finished with my story here, but the salt, they will never, they might as well have just been a salt mine, or like the ocean in that room, because they got so salty by the time that I left. And I don't know what's happening in the server, but some of these Russian teammates ended up flying they're flopping around like a marionette in the air. I didn't even really understand why, but even in the outro, I think it was this specific server or something about it, but I was playing on it earlier and everybody was ragdolling. I don't know if people are really trigger happy in terms of how frequently they use C4 or some kind of explosive that induces that kind of flailing, but I don't know, man. I really don't know. And it's so weird to have not played a fighting game in that long and just to have been that good at it. Now, granted, I think those guys were just terrible. I think that's the only thing. I would not consider myself to be very good at very many games, but speaking of which, I have been playing a lot. Okay, let me get to my class setup before I speak any more about different games, because I haven't talked about the gameplay in a few seconds here, so I might as well elaborate. So, the gentleman by the name of, wait, let me pull up his name here. Where's your name? Desktop, don't, why do I have so many pictures on my desktop? Okay, so his name is the Slapface, or the Slapface. I guess I was expecting to say a number there, like, oh, the Slapface 486902 Spartan 773. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we don't go for the knife, because it gets me killed. Look, he didn't even come over to revive me. You catfish. Why? Why go for the knife when you can just save your teammates and save yourself the hassle of not having to revive anybody? And at this point in time, I basically realized that I had to turtle really hardcore and I would have to just babysit the objective for the triple kill because I knew that they were just going to fire mortars all day, alright? And then it was mortars and then smoke, and then they tried something with everybody running the M16, but I didn't really stick around to see that. But okay, the slab face has a recommendation, and yes, I do like operating with these recommendations that you guys give me, especially when they have a central theme. I think that's the most fun loadout, at least if you ask me, dog. Okay, so it's called the Ghetto Loadout, which is the naked 74M, which is supposed to be, you know, there's a lot of poverty. Oh, we can only afford an AK-47 with no attachments on it. Okay, that makes sense. The Glock 18, black camouflage, and get dunked on, Mr. Engineer. That's not the way to approach me, alright? So, Glock 18, black camo, and he said only hipfire and full auto, but that's not realistic. I would have to be playing against the worst straight Down syndrome, Carl, like, the kids would have to be pretty bad, and I would have to be playing close quarters for that setup to work. Like, hipfire on a gun like this that has a rate of fire that's that low is not going to end well. That's pretty asinine. It's not going to work out in your favor most of the time, not to mention the fact that close quarters in general already just, oh god. Thinking about playing close quarters with this thing when the rate of fire is that low, only hipfire and full auto, that's, like I said, I don't think you guys want to see that, because it would take me a while to find teammates and the opposing team, like enemies that are that awful that I could actually excel in that environment, and I don't think you guys want to see me just dunking on kids that are really terrible. I guess here I have a little bit of an advantage because we're on the defending side, but yet again I'm using a class setup that is not exactly ideal, but it's not bad. I have to say to you that the AK-74M is not a bad weapon, especially while it's naked, because the iron sights are quite effective. But what I wanted to say was, in terms of branching off from fighting games, I was sort of taken aback, and I was very shocked at this like little component of my life. Now, I can easily say that there are some games that, I don't know if they shaped me, but they certainly had an influence on me when I was like in a younger environment, when I was much younger. So, this is what I think about it. And somehow that guy just overran all my teammates on the left-hand side, but I ended up getting revived, so it's okay. But this is what really shocks me, and I really do think that shocking is the right word, because it's something that I was genuinely surprised about. Okay, this is what happened. I played and I installed Manhunt yesterday, and I was shocked at how well I knew the ins and outs of everything. So I had not played, just to give you guys perspective, I have not played that since I was 13 years old, and I am now 20 years old, and my brain knew every little in and out. And it just made me, Russian, bro. I don't know what his pose was, but it just, I don't know why it shocked me so much. But Wesley, Kobe Bryant, snipes, and I end up getting this guy as well. But it just surprised me at how well I knew every in and out of the level, exactly how to execute everybody, and it's, for those of you that haven't played Manhunt, it's kind of a unique game, and I guess it's not, I mean, I guess if any of you are parents out there, you're probably thinking to yourself, your parents gave you Manhunt at age 13, and yes, they did, but I've never even gotten a parking ticket, let alone been arrested or anything else. Like, I don't even have a misdemeanor. I don't think I've ever been ticketed for anything. Like, literally anything. Not even parking, not speeding, no felony, no misdemeanor, no, I don't know how I played games like Grand Theft Auto and Manhunt at age 13, yet I turned out like this, but whatever. Manhunt has two different difficulties. The first is called Fetish, and I know that sounds a little morbid, but for those of you that are Manhunt players, I'm not talking about anything sexual in terms of anything, but the name of the difficulty is Fetish, which is the lower difficulty. It's a little bit easier. And you also have Hardcore, and in the game, the way that you sort of conduct yourself in terms of how you kill people and everything else, it's conducted on a 5-star system, and killing people in certain ways will get you more stars than others. I don't know why this tree just decided to fall down here, but it's like the, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the little cafe thing that's in the 3rd, 4th base metro, but it's like this little counter, and every time you try to take cover behind it, it sucks you in. And I don't know why that happens, but I kept getting sucked into this tree like a black hole. I don't know why that was happening, but at this point in time, I'm still sort of, I've never been that shocked about something that happened so long ago. So my 13-year-old self that played Manhunt over and over and over again was able to remember every little detail and every little way to interact with the environment and beat the game of Manhunt. It was just like 7 years later, I still remember that. It's just something that I didn't think that a game could do that to me. And so I just felt like sharing it with you. Like when I think about the games that I really cut my teeth on were Splinter Cell, Grand Theft Auto, and Manhunt, and I know that's kind of a weird combination, but I can easily say that I want to say Double Agent is not as good, alright? For those of you that want to try out Splinter Cell games, and even like the same thing that happened with Manhunt happened with Splinter Cell Double Agent when I played it again recently. It's just, I don't know why my brain can remember little details that much. And it's not even like, you know when you sometimes go back to a single player game and it's not always the easiest to navigate, you just think to yourself, oh, that's kind of actually rather difficult if you ask me, but you have to look through a walkthrough or you have to have some sort of cheat sheet. With me, I still remember every single little objective, and I don't even have memory that is that remarkable, at least if you ask me, and I don't know, it just shocked me. It really did shock me that little games like that I played when I was 13 by myself still have that sort of seated memory in my brain. I don't know why I'm rambling with it so much, but it just fascinated me and I felt like sharing it with you. However, if we want to finish up on this gameplay here, I can easily say that the AK-74M is not difficult to use. I think a lot of you are familiar with it from the beta. I think we all use it since the beta. But I definitely do enjoy it when you guys provide me with this sort of class system in terms of, oh look, here's something that's not just a basic run-of-the-mill assault rifle or anything else. It's something that has a central theme. Like the Halo theme, I definitely like that. I actually got a gameplay trying to unlock things to get the Halo theme. So I was using the KH-2002 so that I could unlock the 3.4 times scope to make it look like the battle rifle from Halo 3, or Halo 2, excuse me, and I ended up getting a game with a red dot sight for some reason, as I was trying to unlock something else. So I definitely do enjoy your class setups, and I even got this guy before the game ended, and it doesn't end in my favor if I can put it that way. I don't know if that's exactly the way that I would describe it, but I definitely do enjoy that you guys are providing me with so many requests for different themed classes that I can play with, and I do admire that a lot of you I admire that a lot of you submit requests even though you know the likelihood of me choosing your request is fairly low, and Wesley snipes for the double kill. I end up getting a few more guys on the objective, and it just gets silly. Like, that's so many mortars in such a tight, confined area, and I end up getting just cut down from behind with the M16A3, and I get disconnected from EA Online. Now, immediately I was ready to smash my keyboard because I thought to myself, I don't know what the exact tally was, but I was beyond like 36-3, so I'm definitely just dunking on the other team. I thought I got kicked for hacking, but sometimes that EA Online thing just happens. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching and tolerating my ramble about how I was so fascinated with... I didn't know that gaming could be that embedded in my brain for over 7 years. I just felt like sharing it with you. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Auf Wiedersehen und bis bald und later.
What the fuck was that?